Hi, and welcome to Hypothetically Intentional, where we ask the question, what if we set intentions with everything we do? I'm your host, Michelle Albers, and today I have Sheila of 1,000 Hearts Project and the Soul Power Nation. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you, Michelle. I am so excited to be here with you today.
I'm really excited about this conversation, like really excited. I want to learn more. And we've only talked a few times, but I've purposefully not asked a lot of questions because I wanted to do it on the mic. So before we go there, because that's how I roll. I want to do it on the mic so that people can learn too, not just me, you know?
Absolutely. And first time tends to have it's the most spontaneous, natural, heart-centric energy. So I love that because I'm basically the same.
That's awesome. So we should set an intention for today. Not should, we could, we shall. Do you want to be part of setting an intention?
I love hearing your intention, and then I may expand on it a little, but please do that for us.
I think what I'm feeling is my intention is coming from the 1,000 hearts and the soul power, because I just keep feeling heart centeredness. And so I feel like not only do I want to show up at being present in my heart center, but I also feel there's still some reciprocity there that we can send it out and also be open to receiving. And I believe that can happen on the mic through the ethers. And so I feel like I'm just feeling really centered and connected through heart, love, kindness, compassion.
That sounds straight up my alley and just perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really glad you're here. We hinted at connection. I don't know how many, maybe was that the beginning of this year, a while ago. Right. And then we finally dove in and had some messaging back and forth. And then now we're here on a mic, and I feel like we were supposed to get to know each other better in this way. I feel like we were in a virtual room together, kind of chatting with a small group of people. And then it led to messaging, and now here we are. So I would love to hear. I'm really intrigued by both, but I would like to start, if you're okay with it, at this 1,000 Hearts
Absolutely.
Project. Will you tell me about it?
I would love to.
And if there's something you need to say first, about yourself or something, go for it.
No, I trust that everything will just unfold totally naturally and appropriately, accurately. 1,000 Hearts Project has evolved out of the work that I've been doing, kind of all of my life, and certainly coming into the situation where you and I met, which is trying to pull the threads of my life together to weave them together into something that's not just meaningful for me, but that I can offer the world a way to benefit from the path that I've walked.
So when you say the work that you do, you mean your personal work. You're not talking about your quote unquote job or career. You're talking your personal work.
I'm talking about my personal work because, Michelle, I have been trying, I've always felt a calling to do this, to help people have more empowered lives. And I've been trying to figure out what it is that I'm not doing that I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's the path I've been walking. And I've finally really had nothing else to focus on because everything else fell apart and fell away. And I've really had the privilege to double down on self-love and working through the things that have brought me from being codependent, being married to a narcissist, being in emotionally abusive situations. Frankly, this is coming up, so I'm going to say it frankly, becoming an abuser. Not intentionally, but out of self-protection. And because it was the environment that I was in and because I didn't know any better. And I've been that person. And I've been in leadership positions where I was doing my best and I believed in what I was doing. And I look back now and I understand that I had become the very thing that I was trying to get other people not to be. And so that's the path. And that's the work, because I had life-changing situations and perspectives. And so I've been trying to understand how to birth that, how to package it, how to put it together into words in today's language in a way that's both mine and modern language, that I could connect with other people, and having crazy standards and, just all of the performance issues that so many of us have. And so I've come to how do I create a business? Because I gave up my career for my marriage, you see. And so, I gave up the things. I made the sacrifices. None of it worked. It was mind-bending, just to put it in words and be able to move on. And so I've been trying to create a business, not because I want a business, but because I want a platform to be able to support myself where I don't have to be distracted, because I'm not good at that. I need one path to focus on, because I have a hard enough time with that. Because I have so many ideas. We shared that you have so many different things that you love, and I have so many different things that I love. How do I thread it together and create value in the world so that I don't have to do other things that are distracting and keep me from bringing the thing that actually has value in the world? And I absolutely believe that there are thousands of people and thousands of women who resonate with that experience and that desire. I know it. I know it. And so I have to get over my uncertainty about the things. Anyway, 1,000 hearts. How did we get here? Because I'm in a couple mentoring groups, a couple coaching groups. I'm like paying for these opportunities, and they're fantastic, but they're led by people who are a lot more left-brained, a lot more
logical and business-minded.
Yep. Business-minded, logical, just kind of linear thinking. And I'm like, dude, you have no understanding of like how many different threads are coming. And anyway, and the KPIs, the key performance indicators, the things that they want me to be doing to connect with people don't resonate with me. And so, because of the life that I've led, I have believed myself to be an introvert, and I have lived as an introvert because I was afraid of the world, you see. And I didn't realize that it was because I was, like so many, in that constant nervous system, triggered nervous system, so that I couldn't trust. I couldn't reach out. I connected with people, but it was like unhealthy. And so I have wanted for 10 years or longer, I've been saying, I want to build a community. So that's been in my heart, but I haven't done it. I had structure in my life that included my people, and all of that fell away. And I haven't rebuilt it. I've been focusing on myself. Frankly, I've been doing the inner work, and I had not a whole lot to give, even though I wanted people around me. But you know what? I would have leaned on those people to give me my solutions instead of figuring out my own SHIT.
Yeah, you can swear here. Unless you're not comfortable with it, but I say all the things. So just
okay.
saying.
All right. Good to know. We're still getting to know each other. So I have just, I've been playing with different pieces all along, and they came together like just a month ago or so. And it's like, well, I had the first inkling a while before that, maybe, but I need to connect with people. I don't want to just cold DM people on Facebook. No, what does that do? That doesn't do anything. I want to build relationships. And I look at the world around me and I'm like, people need to be more connected. And one of my frameworks is the GLOW framework, GLOW, and the G stands for generative generosity. And generative, a friend of mine helped me understand generosity as the life, the connections that bring life. Because life doesn't exist except in connection.
Yeah.
And so you see, so I'm trying to weave the different things together. I'm like, I want to make connections. What's realistic? 1,000, frankly, isn't realistic. Not in a short period of time, but it's real. It's my goal. It's I want to have 1,000 people in my network. Actually, I want a much bigger tribe than that. I want a global tribe. And for right now, to set this goal of having 1,000 heart-centered conversations, 1,000. And they don't have to be on podcasts. They don't have to be public. But can I set the goal for myself?
So this is like 1,000 conversations that are heart-centered and heartfelt. I love that. You know what I think is cool about what you just said? Because when you first started saying the 1,000 conversations, before you said 1,000 conversations, I thought you meant like people in a community, and how you said you want it to be bigger than that. But right now 1,000 feels good. And it's funny to me how our brains work, right? Because when you said 1,000 hearts, but it could be millions. I mean, you didn't say it that way, but it could be, but then in my brain and in my heart, where I go to that is like, oh, 1,000 member community sounds so intimate. And like, if you have millions, people get lost in the shuffle. But I feel like if you have 1,000, and that's just like sort of your cap, and I'm not saying it needs to be limited. I don't mean that at all. But I was like, oh, it's weird to me that 1,000 feels, intimate. Because like, that's weird, because it's like 10 might be intimate, really. But if you look at it at scale, like I look at, big business, big corporations, big quote unquote, influencers who have millions of followers. It's like, doesn't 1,000 feel intimate and I'm not trying to compare, but I don't know. It's just funny how, and then you say 1,000 conversations and I'm like, well, that's really not going to take you very long. Like 1,000 conversations is actually not all that many. And for them to be heartfelt and fit your vision of what this really looks like. And what does heartfelt mean, right? Is it vulnerable? Is it kind? Is it challenging? Because heartfelt sometimes can be challenging. I don't know. I didn't mean to segue off, but I found the number thing really interesting, because my brain went to, when you said 1,000 hearts, I was just like, oh God, that sounds so much better than 100,000 or 1,000,000, because it feels like I could connect. I could actually connect with a lot of people if it's quote unquote smaller. And maybe that is limited thinking. And there's probably business experts out there that say, no, don't do that.
Well, I love that you brought up that you had these thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I think what you're saying is right on the money. And the thing for me is all of that and setting, Michelle, it's the setting of the intention.
Yeah.
It's setting, because see, the GLOW method, the GLOW method came out of, it's a long story, but I'm a singer. And that's been, and like, I'm trained, like I sang with the Dallas Opera Chorus for like 15 years. Okay. So, I mean, really serious singing. And I have moved from timidity through perfectionism to excellence to love and an invitation. And singing became the way, my experience as a singer on stage and the way that I show up to sing has become the guiding light for me and the thread that weaves through everything that I'm building now. And I want my life to be lived the way that I sing. What if I live the way that I sing? What
That's
if I
such a great
glow?
question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's just such a great question to ask. And the other thing, I don't, it's like, I don't know if this is a download or what's going on, but, I usually know. I can't tell if just you intrigued me or if this is a download.
Yeah.
So I'm always honest about that.
Yeah. Cool.
The way you described, I feel like the emotional journey you described, like timidity to, I can't even remember the words you said, but I'm like, if you remember exactly what you said, to say it again would be beautiful. But also, we can also just go back. You move from timidity to getting over the perfectionism to courageous is kind of what I heard there, to excellence. And I just think like that journey is such a beautiful one. And if you can articulate that, the whole process of that might really help not only you, but others in like, this is a journey we all go on, right? And yours might look a smidgy different, but those feelings tend to come in for us because that timidity comes from fear and a desire to protect ourselves usually, right? Like that's not necessarily where the fear comes from. But for me, and it sounds like for you, my timidity comes from fear of being whatever seen or connected because it's not safe, quote unquote, right? And so there's like all these layers to that, but then to recognize that like there's some perfectionism stuff going on because that also feels safe. Yeah, but it's just destroying you, right? And you don't know that until you know it, and then you can't unsee it, and then it becomes, and then you take the next step of the journey. So I don't know, what you just said is such a beautiful way to take words into something that I have a hard time. I have a hard time putting accurate words to what we talk about on these podcasts, or even just when we talk about the healing journey, because I think it's layered and complex, and we're simple creatures, but we're very layered and complex. It's like we're simple in that we're all kind of the same. Like we're not as different as we pretend to be sometimes. And I think, we're super complicated in how we navigate this thing called Earth and the human experience and how we connect with divine within that, whatever your beliefs are around that. But just the way you said that was so beautiful. And I just wanted to pause and just talk more about that journey of you said, what if I live like I sing? I think is what you said.
Yes.
It's like, how beautiful is that? And I think everybody has their thing, right? For everybody, it might not be singing, but like, what if I live like, and then the thing that lights you up from the inside out, the thing where you found your confidence, the thing where you smile from the inside out and go, oh, if everybody did that, what a joyful 1,000 hearts that would be, And
imagine, yes. And the 1,000 hearts is something that's like, I can do this. It's not so much that I can't do it, and setting that intention, getting the clarity, having the conversations, and then collecting them and sharing them, the ones that are appropriate to do so, right? Yeah. But to set that anticipation.
Yeah.
Is exactly why I've created this. And frankly, that is why when your profile came up on social media, I was like, oh, looky. And I think I told you this. I didn't remember you.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't remember you clearly. And that's, just call it, whatever it needs to be, but it just truth. And, but it's the 1,000 Hearts Project. See, that's setting that goal instead of this is the thing that I learned that has changed everything. When I took the words that people were telling me and I translated them for myself, and I understood I have to, what we focus on expands. What we focus on, we get more of. So I had to shift from focusing on the things that were still wrong with me, that weren't working the way that I wanted, the things that I didn't like about myself still. The root of the sorrow and the shame that I was still carrying that I didn't understand. And it wasn't until I decided that I was going to not worry about that anymore. And instead, I was going to look at my life and evaluate it and see, where is it working? What's working best? And I pointed to that because that is consistent. I know that experience. And I put that as my North Star. What if I live the way that I sing? It was the year that I almost died from COVID. And about 6 months later, I wrote this poem that was titled, What If I Lived the Way That I Sing? Because I still wasn't living in this freedom that I knew existed.
Yeah.
But I know where it is in my life. And now I appreciate what you just said so much because I've been trying to figure out how do I communicate this to other people? This concept of what if I live the way that I sing when I'm the singer and other people aren't and they may not understand. And I love that you jumped right to the understanding because it may, leave it to me trying to make it more complicated than it actually is, you know. But I can just say, what if, for me, it's singing, but for you, what is it? What if you live in your glow?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So now I want to have these conversations. I do want to have, I've established that in my day-to-day life, get myself into that state of being. And I do now it's become this project. That's when it became more than just 1,000 hearts. Yeah. As Sheila's little KPI that she's going to, get herself to have the conversations and create the connections with people and be generous and create life through that. But now it's like, oh, it's a podcast. It's got to be because
that's amazing.
Because people need to see these examples. Yeah. We need to have these conversations with each other.
Yeah. And I first of all, I didn't know where this conversation was going to go. And I really love how much you're sharing of your journey, because I think there's people out there, many people out there who have similar things, right? Similar struggles, similar challenges. And a lot of times this podcast does go there. It goes to people sharing like, this is what was so hard for me. This is what I'm still in. And this is how I'm navigating, loving my way through it, so to speak, right? Like I'm loving myself through this thing and I'm figuring out how to do that. And if you want to come along, great. And just hearing my story, that's how you come along, right? And then if other things that we do resonate, cool, reach out, contact us. There can be more deeper ways to connect. But I really appreciate how much of your story you're sharing, because I think it's a powerful thing when you can hear a story from a stranger and really resonate with it and understand that you're not alone, that you're not like weird or so different that nobody could ever possibly understand you. And so I'm pausing to say thank you. I'm also, when you said the KPI thing and you mentioned it at the beginning too, I was reflecting on my own journey, and entrepreneurship is no joke. It's not easy. And I've been here since 2011. That's when I started my no joke challenging journey. And I've loved it. Right. But I've had several lifetimes within this journey. And when you mentioned the KPI thing, I've kind of been there lately because I'm moving my studio and there's just a lot of moving parts of change and shifts that are happening that it's like, oh, well, that wasn't planned, but okay, here we go. And I just surrender to flow. But I find that when those things happen, it can be really easy for me to lock into my logical mind and forget my heart and soul. And that's when things get messy and don't go anywhere. And it's like, you need both, right? Like we need the foundation. We need the wisdom, the intelligence, the education of like, this is how you be an entrepreneur and run a business. But we also need like that soul-centered creativity and compassion and like clarity of like, what is this really? Who am I? And how do I show up in the world as myself in my purpose? And I'm careful to say that because I don't believe every single person's career or job has to be like that, right? It can be a mission project, a volunteer thing. It can be, you can find that part of it a lot of different ways. But if you're stuck in the logical place where you're only trying to figure out how to do it, who to be it, how to, it's like, what is the doing instead of like, who am I being? And does that feel true? It's so tricky. And so you're in that place, it sounds like, of that. Everybody wants you to go logical, including yourself, because you think that's the answer. And it's like, and there's a braid here that has to be part of this. That has to happen where human meets divine and where we get to play and find out, what if I show up like I sing? Such a beautiful thing. And I don't know if that was too far of a tangent, but I really am appreciating how you're showing up and sharing that vulnerability. And also like I feel like you're sharing your birthing story of this creation that is 1,000 heart projects, but not just that. It's like you and how you show up in the world to to ripple out love and kindness. Because I think the more we do that, the better, the less chaotic the world feels, and the more better energetically it feels from a person who feels energy really strongly.
Well, absolutely. And I think that we share this in common, and it must be why, we've come back around to have the conversation and to make the connection, because I have a feeling this won't be the last time we get together.
Yeah.
Because that integrity, you see, that's where Soul Power Nation has come through.
Oh, cool. I love that you're shifting into that, because I want to know more about that. I love it. That was a perfect flow. Good glow, good flow. I like it.
Yes. Because this thing that you're talking about, this dilemma, if you will, that you're talking about, is my passion. I mean, I feel like that's what I'm born for, is to be this bridge. And I had to figure it out in myself better so that I had better energy, better clarity, and better words to bring it to other people. And the thing is, so to use metaphors from singing, there are a lot of students, a lot of singers that I've worked with who think that skill itself, perfecting skill is enough. And they can be meticulous, and they can be amazing. And there are others that think that being loud is enough, because loud is impressive, right?
Sure.
Impressive. But the thing is that being either of those things isn't what makes you powerful. Power. I mean, like when, a laser beam is focused energy.
Yeah.
And it's energy that doesn't have distractions in it, you see. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. And, it's what I've been clarifying in myself. How do I help people understand this? And then how do I use my life experience and my metaphors and my way of being to help other people find that in themselves and see, okay, we understand this. So many coaches, so many systems exist. They've been so refined to be scalable that they're generic. They don't encourage, they have a hard time encouraging the individuality of the human being, which is how we end up in our left brain instead of balanced in both, because every person is unique. And it's not for me to tell you what your pure tone is, what your pure signal, what your life path is. I can't tell you that. But I can show you what it looks like. I can help you find what it looks like for yourself. And I can give you all kinds of methods and skills, but they're not all helpful for you. Mm-hmm. But I can help you find the ones that are helpful for you. And I can help you find your map.
So is Soul Power Nation then the community, or like almost like a coaching community where they get guidance? And
yes, that would be our community. And it's founded on the principles that, I took SOUL, Soul Powerful, and I created the acronyms so that we have a structure so that we understand. So like S is sacred stillness, safety, and self-evaluation. Because see, we've got to deal with that critical voice inside ourselves. But if we don't slow down and pay attention and then create safety within ourselves to be our own coach, then we get the critical voice. But what is that critical voice trying to do? It's trying to keep us safe. And so just using some structure, because otherwise I prefer to be right-brained.
Yeah.
So I need some structure, and I know that other people need more even than I do. And so to help communicate, there are ways to move from the logical, mechanical, linear, masculine, if you will, way of being in the world into a more balanced way that acknowledges your higher self, that part of you that knows better about you. Frankly, like myself, I mean, I got into so many of the situations I got into because nobody knew to help me listen to myself. Nobody else, the humans around me didn't know how to do that for themselves, didn't believe in it. I mean, they had no awareness. They weren't aware. It's really hard to, I don't know if it's hard or not, but it's not logical or helpful to hold anybody accountable for something that they're ignorant of.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Because you don't know what exactly. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But once you do know, then can you get into a situation, into a state of being where you can embrace something new? And that's my goal, is to create frameworks and experiences and just a state of being, my personal state of being, and showing up in the world that helps people feel safe so that they can explore that for themselves. Because see, that's the thing that I feel was missing from my life. And that's why I wanted people around me. But then I had to figure it out myself because nobody can do our work for us. But I didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
I didn't feel safe with myself. I didn't really feel safe with other people. I was looking for that. Come to find out, I had to find it myself. But it sure would have been lovely to have had someone walking beside me who understood that. And the beautiful thing about the time where we live is that more people are conscious of this now.
Yeah.
We were unconscious. We were ignorant before. More and more of us are getting informed. And so we can help one another intentionally to create that experience in their nervous systems and in their life experience so they can come to alignment, which is actually the thing that caught my attention about your, on your profile. And again, that was one of our first conversations coming back around was, what's this thing that you're doing, Michelle? Alignment. Do people, people understand that? And it just resonated with me because alignment, get rid of the noise, increase the signal of your soul, of your truth, your inner truth, but without all of the survival mechanisms that you've developed to keep you safe, because you don't need them anymore if you can let go of them. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Can we, I want to circle back to 1,000 Hearts quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be quick. I say quick, like that matters. It doesn't. I got the impression that you're going to start a podcast called 1,000 Hearts Project, or maybe it's not called that, but like that is your intention, is to start a podcast and start having these conversations with, are you going to have them with others? Like invite people on? Are you going to what does that look like for you? Or you don't know yet?
No, absolutely. I do not see that as a solo podcast.
It makes sense that it wouldn't be, right? Because these are heartfelt conversations, the way you described it. But I was just curious if it was more like, I had this conversation, I'm going to tell the story, or if it's like, I want to have live conversations on the mic with people kind of like we're doing now.
Right. Oh, I just love this, because what you just did is not only really practical in this moment, but it also is a fantastic example of the very thing. because see, this is collaboration, and that's the thing that I have gotten really clear, having been basically self-isolated most of my life, because I believed I was an introvert, and that was all, I shared pieces of that. I'm not really an introvert. that was just a survival mechanism. What I really have come to embrace is that I'm really a collaborator.
Mm.
But you have to be in a relationship to have collaborations, right?
Yeah.
And so that's hence 1,000 hearts. And what you just did was very generative. This conversation is very generative because you just helped me see something that I hadn't seen as a possibility before. But you saw it differently and you shared that with me. And that's the treasure in 1,000 intentional heart opening conversations of sharing ideas, being generative, creating new things, new possibilities, which is what the community ideally will also be about. That's what the podcast will be about, as I see it as a seed for community and for the concept, for people to see how they can experience this and create this in their own life and see their efforts on a bigger scale. I just saw the World Wide Web of trees of mycelium, the mycelium network, and just how that it just fired all across my brain, into the world, and sharing that enthusiasm with people about how they can do that in their own worlds. And that's what I want the 1,000 Hearts Project to be. It's not just 1,000 connections. It's infinite possibilities. I was just working with ChatGPT on this the other day, and 1,000 hearts, 1,000 voices, 1,000 connections, and infinite possibilities or choices. Choices rhymes with voices. So there's a part of me, the poet part of me, wants to put choices in there, but
I wanted to say songs because of your thing. Infinite songs, infinite melodies, right?
See, I love this. I love this.
But yeah, I think that's beautiful. And wherever you land, it's going to be an amazing way to show up in the world and see where it goes. That's one of my favorite things. It's I find that the more I'm in, not so much visioning so far out of what it's going to look like, but more just every moment, being in the process of unfolding or of growth or of just evolution, creation, and the curiosity within that is a much more freedom flow for me than for me to be oh, I think it is supposed to look like this. Or I think, it's I need to stop. I don't need to stop. I don't need to stop. I show up how I show up. And I like to recognize and notice when I'm in that, oh, this feels like attachment. This feels like why is this so important to me? And could it be possible for it to because of the work that I do and that I've been doing, I recognize that there's infinite possibilities. Maybe not infinite, but a lot of possibilities. On the human side, maybe not infinite. On the spiritual side, infinite possibilities of what this might look like. And my human self can't see all of them, nor it's not possible. And so I just sort of, connect with my inner highest self. I call her my wise old crone. And I just, connect with her, listen to her, connect with divine counsel, my spiritual team, and go, all right, let's dance, let's play, let's see what happens, as opposed to a super big attachment of I think I have perfectionist stuff too. And I think I have this story sometimes that floats in when I'm oh, there it is, shoot, but I have this I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing enough. I don't have, because it's not looking the way the box I'm putting it in. And it's I'm a person who's anti-box. I grew up in a box and I don't like boxes. I want to just be me. But then I find myself putting shit in boxes and it's what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because that's what that's the only thing, and it's oh, you forgot you're free. I get it now. It's it's so fascinating, this thing. And we could probably talk for hours, but I feel this is a really great place to wrap up this conversation. Yeah. Not that there won't be more, but because I think we're landing in a great place with your 1,000 Heart projects. We understand what the Soul Nation project is. No, Soul Power.
Soul Power
Soul
Nation.
Power Nation is.
Yes.
And I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of you. Like, how do they find you? Where do they connect with
Sure.
you?
Well, I think that soulpowernation.com is the easiest way
Okay,
to go.
beautiful. I'll put that in the
Yeah,
show
that's my
notes.
link tree, and that'll get you what you need to get to me.
Beautiful.
And there's lots of things, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I feel like we scratched the surface, and I want to hear more about you and and what you're doing and the community that you're building and the way that you've been building it. And can I just reflect to you that
Please.
this what you just shared with us about your process of being you is the way, because that's where the magic is. That's where the gift is. It's you being you in the moment and letting the energy flow through you. Because otherwise we're controlling it and we're trying to manipulate it, and we're creating distraction and noise, and the energy can't bring us everything that it wants to bring us if we're holding on to it at the same time. So I just am loving on that with you right now.
Yeah, it was a lot of decades of me not doing that. A lot of decades of me hanging on and controlling, and then learning through my own healing journey and space holders and wise elders, so to speak, yeah, just a beautiful process. But it wasn't an easy one, I'll say that. And I still have moments where, like I even said, I grasp and it's like, oh, what am I doing? This is not fun. I'm about fun and playfulness and creativity. And I'm all about the hard work. Like, let's go there. And that's where I feel like you're in that place of like, you absolutely must be in quote unquote hard work, but you also absolutely must quote unquote be in your soul space. Right. And it's like, and when both of those things are really imperative at the same time, I find that to be the most challenging time to be in. And it's just like, so yeah. I don't know if it's helpful or not, but, be mindful of giving yourself some softness and some compassion and some flow over the tendency for perfectionism. Cause that's where I go when I'm in those challenging states of where all of that has to be true at the same time in order for me to make progress. It's challenging, but so freaking worth it. It's a beautiful journey, and a really ugly, messy one too. So both can be true at the same time.
both can be true at the same time. And I'm starting to tell more of my stories, and they really demonstrate what you're talking about. But we'll get to those on another time, or folks can find me on Facebook or whatever. And I'm starting to do a better job about sharing those.
Do you have a like one last little, I don't know, heartfelt nugget that you feel like you want to throw out into to close the circle of this podcast? Is there anything coming in for you, or?
Marianne Williamson said it first. And it's so universally true. We are more powerful than we comprehend. And we have the opportunity, when we accept ourselves exactly as we are in any given moment, and we reflect love back to ourselves, all of a sudden, everything is possible. And it truly is. And when we can't see that, even that is okay. It's not a failure if you can't see everything that's possible. It's an opportunity to relax, just as you were just encouraging me to remember also. It's the same concept, just different words. Mm-hmm. And loving the moment exactly like it is is a magical key. It is understanding how much love is available in everything, in every moment, understanding that life is a gift and finding the wonder in that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.